Hello guys, this is Raza and you are my channel Science Innovation Tag. Today we will be discussing the most important function of Excel, that is match index. So how the match index are actually working. So let's suppose that you are working in an organization and you want to send the transfer sheet to your bank. Against these employee code, you need to bring the name, other name, the bank details, and the net amount. And you want to take that from your main salary sheet, so you cannot send all these things. So for that you need to go, for example, I want to send a data of this employee code from this sheet, so it is quite difficult. So if you want to find name, so this is again this code, this is the your employee name and this is the other name. You want to copy paste to your other sheet, so it is quite time consuming and it's quite difficult. For that we want to today show you the other function, index and match, how these functions are working. We already covered the VLOOKUP functions in our early videos, for which I will be sharing the link of that video in my descriptions. You can watch from there. So let's start how match are actually working. Match actually also a VLOOKUP, but it is considered like a narrow one, because VLOOKUP can bring data from the whole table, while match can only give the reference either of a single row reference or a single column reference. So let's start how it working. Match actually give the reference. For example, let's start match, then it's required the lookup value. For example, we want this lookup value from where, from this array, and then we want what exact match. For that we'll be using 0 and close. When we close, it will show us that this value is where it exists in this array. So when you enter it, it's give us 4. So on 4 number exactly this array is falling. So it's tell that the array that you selected, this is on which number. So that is 1 2 3 4 on 4 number. So if you give in this array the whole table, it will not work. Let me give, if you want to give this whole table array, it will not work, because match can only work either in a single row or in a single array reference, not in a table reference. When you enter, it's not working. So at the same time, as we earlier gave here the array in a column form, now we want to give an array in row form. When you give this array in row form, it will give the result 1, because the array which we have selected, it is this value fall on the first number. So this how match function is actually working. Index is working. Index actually bring the value of your row between the row and column. For example, this is our row and this is our column. So it will bring data from this location, not from the rest area. VLOOKUP and index bring value from the specific reference, while match only show the reference position, that where your value is actually exist. So let me show first way. So in index we start with the as usual index. Index required what? The array. What is your array? This is our array. In index you can give table array or only cell row array or column array. Bring value from your array. So this is the array, and now this asking for what? The row numbers, from which row you want to bring your data. So this is what? This is our first row. And what is the column? The column is also first in our table array selection. Then we want to close the bracket. So this is our value. What is bring it? It is bring us 1, because in our selection, in our selections we start from 1 to 1, so it bring what? The value of 102054. But we don't want this value, we want what? This value. So what we will be doing, in table array where this value is exists, this is on 4th position on a row 4 and in column 1. So when you enter it, it show us the exact value which we were wanting. Match actually show you the reference where it is exists. Index actually bring the value. Index can work in a table, match can only a row or columns. So now these two functions can be also, I can show you the another form of index, how it working. For that, like, let me show you here. These are the two index how we can use. In first you can give the array, then you want to give the row number and then the column number. Index function can be used where you can give the reference. A reference means in which area it is actually, there will be area from which you want to bring, and the row number and column number and then the area number. So let's show with the second function of index. So you will be using index, then you will be give another, start with another brackets. And what is your reference? For example, we have two area. This is one area. We will be put a comma here, and then we have this another area. It actually, when you bring data from more than 2 sheets or from more than 2 area, then index function is that can be used in that position. So second thing, it's want what? It's want the row number. So this way, in our first area of selection where it is in row number 4. So we will be giving, before that we need to close the bracket, then row number 4 and column number is 1, and from which area it is, area is the first one which we selected, so area is first. Now the bracket will be closed. So when you enter, it's give the exact value, this one. So if you give here in place of 1, you give 2, it will not be show because you want to bring data from the second array, so it give actually this position. We have learned how the match and indexes workings. The VLOOKUP also bring a value from specific array or table. So now we will be going to bring data from this sheet to this one. So how we will be doing? We will be combining the index with match, and we will bring the data from that table to this sheet. So we want to bring the name against this ID. So how we'll be doing? We will be start with index. Now after index, what is the array? From which area you want to bring? We want to bring from this table array. Here are the names. You need to select all the names. This is the array, and you want to freeze it because you want to drag it down. You want to freeze it with F4, and then we will be using what? Match function. Match, what is your lookup value? This is our lookup value. And what is the array where you want to look? We will again go to our first sheet. We want from this array, so we will be selecting it. Now you can also freeze this because we will be dragging down, so we will be freeze this function with F4. Then what we want exact match. Now the bracket will be closed. see it's bring all data. So if you want, as I already have this column, so when you drag it down, it's actually bringing all your data. So let's search against this ID, either this is Amir or not. So we will be searching this name here, we'll be putting here, searching the name. See, this is the name here, and the same will be here as well. Now you want to bring the same thing here. For that you want to do what? You need to copy this and you need to paste it here. So it works the same. Why? Because the selection table is just name. You can see here, this one I just highlight. So you now want their further name, so just change the table reference name. So you want father name, you should enter it. See, all the father names now are here. First position is not, because it is related to this one. So see, all these names are here. Let's check this one, either this name against this is the same father name or not. So we'll be searching in our table. See, this is Zubair and Zeer, these two, and let's check in our other table either it's the same or not. Yes, this is. And now you want to bring the name of the bank, you can again copy this, paste it here. It will bring the name because we select the name. Now you want to change here the bank name from your table reference. Here is the bank. Now if you enter it, see the bank are now. This is one bank. These guys, the upper portion guys have separate bank, the down have separate bank. You can bring here the amount, net amount that you want to pay. So again you can copy here, but I'll redo it for you so that you guys could understand. This index, this array from where you want. This is the net amount. Where from this array we want to bring their amount. Now you need to freeze it. So freeze, then match. What is the match value? Lookup value, this one, and the array is in this cost table. You can also freeze it. F4 exact match. This is another press. This is second. This is close. So its salary is actually net amount is this one, and if you drag it down, it will give every employee their net salary. Let's suppose we want to see this, either this employee net salary is the one that we have or not. So we will be searching this employee. Here this is Mr. Kamran, and this is the net salary that you will be getting, 31073. So search it, 31073. So this function of Excel index combination with the match, so you can have your data. Now this is so simple, you can send this data to your bank for the transfer to the each employee account. You guys have any questions or anything, any problem, you can email me on my email below. In my description I can help you whatever